I'm Elizabeth Ashley, the Secret Healer. Welcome to my channel, list of essential oils and their uses. Hello, Aries. So today I'm going to do a reading with my cards, Tongue of the Trees cards, created with Hungarian aromatherapist Gergely Halodi. The tool designed it to bypass the conscious mind and talk to the unconscious mind about its desires, its challenges, the way that it wants to grow a spirit. And over July, there's quite a few astrological transits that can make that interesting. We use that word carefully. So, for example, Saturn is going to retrograde into Capricorn. We've got a full moon in Capricorn too. The end of the eclipses for the Capricorn Cancer series. On the 11th of July, Chiron turns retrograde into your sign of Aries, and Mercury will be direct at the beginning of July after it retrograded on the 18th of June and goes direct finally on the 12th of July. But how do we use the tools of the earth, the essential oils, the plants, to help us navigate those challenges? They're gifts to help us with all these emotional upheavals and lessons, and they are great, great teachers. So let's have a look. We're going to do a Tongue of the Trees reading for astrology. I tend to use 13 cards, magical number, prime number. So let's draw the cards for you, and then I will turn the camera around so you can have a look at how the reading works. So your first card, I like to split it into three. So 1, 2, 3. Put it back together. Your top card is lovely, the playfulness of Mandarin. Beautiful. So that's card number 1. Card number 2. Ooh, a lovely blend, Mandarin and ginger together. Impetus, that beautiful warming sensation that lifts the spirit. That's useful. Number 3. Spikenard. Now, if that's not a great oil for Saturn retrograde, I don't know what is. Beautiful. It's ruled by Saturn. So, number 3. Number 4. The arrow. This has come out for me loads over these past few weeks. This is reconciliation. All about the learning that we're having about all this stuff going on in the planet. Everybody's getting the same oils. And lemongrass. What if we've got all of these hurdles around us? What if we could come past it? Great. Beautiful. So have a look at the next one. Gorgeous. Grapefruit. Lots of solar plexus medicine. Lots of confidence. Lovely. The fortitude of time. One of French aromatherapy's most powerful healers. Very gentle but powerful all at the same time. Fascinating oil to use. Fascinating herb all round. Okay, so this is one I don't see come very often, and interesting for the Aryans, the warriors. This was the crown used for the Romans, for the warriors, for the victors, for inspiration. Beautiful. I'm going to be interested to see how this works out. So what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number 9 is beautiful vetiver grounding. Lovely. Number 10. Eucalyptus, authenticity. There's an oil that's coming out loads and loads for people who have coughs and colds and coronavirus. But what does it mean psychologically? Fascinating, fascinating oil. Lost count again. Lemon. Beautiful. Lovely and uplifting, and again antiseptic, very good for coughs and colds, but particularly good for balancing the serotonin. It's our mood modulator. Interesting that that's come out in your reading, Aries. Let's do a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 2 more. This is always an interesting one. Card number 12. Sacredness of galbanum. That's where you are right now. Just in the moment where things are brewing before the future starts to take hold. So your outcome, Rosemary, enthusiasm. She and I don't get on. It's nice to see her in a reading. She's very bossy, is Rosemary. I'm Aries rising, so that's 2 alphas in a 2 smaller space for me. Interesting that she's come out for the Aries. Beautiful. So before I turn the camera around, let me tell you a little bit about the cards. I'm a professional aromatherapist. I'm author of 20 aromatherapy manuals, including one about the essential oils of the mind, body, spirit, and the creator of, as I say, these Tongue of the Trees cards, but also the knowledge base that goes with them, that looks at the energetics of the essential oils from the point of view of Ayurvedic medicine, from traditional Chinese medicine, but also I'm a medical astrologer, and so it looks at the rulership of the plants, what's going on in terms of the zodiac at the time, and how that can help challenges that you have. So over the next few minutes I'll show you exactly how that plays out for your sign. Hi Aries, welcome back to your reading. Now I'm aware that we can't see the entirety of it, so I will have to move cards in as we go. But my goodness me, you have got a week coming up for you, a month coming up for you. We talked about how some of the astrological changes that were going to happen in during this month, and of course on the 11th of July Chiron retrogrades into your sign, and to me this looks entirely about this. Now when we were pulling out the cards, obviously, let me show you, we went 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13, and whilst I saw there were lots of roots coming up, I didn't really see that they were all going to fall out in a line like that. So when we see lots of purple, lots of roots, we can see there's lots of earth medicine going on. And if you consider that these 3, all the medicine is under the ground, we can see that this is quite dark stuff happening for you. And I think it entirely relates to the retrograde. But let's start off, because you're first. What I would normally expect to see in that kind of trial is dark cards, but actually you've got a beautiful playful oil to begin with. So I think we start the month off very playfully, it's dignified social stuff, tea parties, you know, seeing your friends, chatting. It's Mandarin, is very, very chatting, very upbeat, but you know, kind of chilled, relaxing stuff. And then it has, if you were to blend them together, a beautiful relationship between Mandarin and Ginger. And Ginger's about starting to feel that there is a step forward to be made, heating up towards something new, but also feeling a bit like procrastinating, you know, a bit too worn out to do it. A lot of this medicine looks like tired, really worn out. So perhaps you feel like you've had enough, really. And let's be honest, in this environment, we've all been there. But this is a strange relationship here. So I'm going to read you a couple of poems, and so you can see how different they are. So let's go to the purples first, and I'll go to Ginger. And the poems that come out are ones that were given to me by the plants, about how they relate to you. So Ginger says, I empathise with how weak you feel, how tired and in need of rest, but helping you back on your feet is what Ginger does the best. Perhaps it's born from underground, roots hidden from the sun, but when you're weary, let me say, a spicy life is more fun. Feel my heat and sense the tingle, put on a sassy dress, get your glad rags on, we're off to chase success. Shake off your outdated complacency and your lazy savoir-faire. Climb up above your station and you'll find your fortune there. Now, funnily enough, it's ruled by Aries, and so you can feel that it is a strong oil, motivated oil, driven oil, but also it's ruled by the sunshine of Leo, so feeling like your center of attention. So we both of these here, I've got this lovely sort of party thing going on, and I think it's important to try and hold on to this ginger feeling all the way through the month, because here, hard transits. So I think the tone of the whole reading is to say, just kind of try and take things to have a bit of a giggle at every possible opportunity you can, and that means putting your glad rags on, and even though you're going to feel like you're hurting this month, and we'll go into that in a minute, then always try and take the lighter option through this medicine if you can. So when I'm looking at it with the spread, as I say, we went 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13. I like to use the prime numbers as the power things. So 3 7 11, my most important ones. So here, this inner journey is really important. Now, I've written a book about spikenard, and I do think in the times when you are most afraid, it is the most powerful tranquilizer that you can have. Really, this is a tranquilizing, but this is peaceful medicine, whereas this is scared cat calming down medicine. So you think that something is going to spook you today, and given that, as I say, Chiron goes retrograde into Aries, that's not without the realms of possibility at all. So who is Chiron? Who was Chiron? Chiron's a centaur that was abandoned as a fawn, and he was adopted by Apollo, the god of healing and music, and also Athena. Artemis. And Artemis was tremendously gifted with medicinal herbs, and between them they taught him everything there was to know about healing. But ironically, he was wounded, and the one person that he could not heal was himself. And so Chiron is about the wounded healer, and it's about the wound that will not heal. I would have expected Helichrysum to come up in this blend because that is the wound that will not heal, but it hasn't. So I think this is more about the psychology of traumas that are coming back karmically to you. And when Chiron goes retrograde anyway, it feels like bad news, because it is karma, it is trauma, it is deep psychological wounding. But if you think, we've got my rose here, look, let me see if I can do it. Look at that thorn. Imagine that is embedded in your heart, and it's painful stuff, and over time it becomes very, very it festers, you know, and certain transit will definitely make it fester. But when Chiron goes retrograde, what happens is it retracts, and this thorn becomes more visible, and so that hurts more. But what's happening is it's an opportunity for it to open and to come out like drawing ointment, really. But it's scary because it hurts like crazy. And so these transits, I say, spikenard is a very treasured oil. It's not one that should be used unless you really need it, really. It's in decline. But I think this transit warrants it. You know, this is scary times, and perhaps you are revisiting real deep-seated traumas. That there, the Galbanium implies that that's definitely true. And of course, what does it say? It's we're going on an inner journey. So what we see here is an opportunity to use the oils in many different ways. But I think in this situation, the best possible way that you can use spikenard is to simply sit with it and breathe it. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, and do the square over and over again for about 5 minutes. And as you're going through, perhaps make some notes of the different feelings that you expect to come up, and the ways that the oils can help. But in the most terrifying thing that looks like you're going back to a scary place that you just cannot face, then spikenard is absolutely the best person to help you. Notice I call them as pet people. But ironically, this is a strange one to come up. So look at the Latin name Achille millefolium. It's of Achilles. And Achilles, where was his wound that would not heal? It was his Achilles heel. Your Achilles heel is coming back. And so if actually you find that you've got physical stuff revisiting, which could easily happen, you know, that Chiron retrograde can definitely bring physical stuff back, then this is a tremendously soothing and calming oil, psychologically, but also physically. You see my little friend, look, he came off the rose just. And really helps to reconcile what's going out on the universe, but on the spiritual level, on the physical level, and on the emotional level, drawing them all together. And it's a blue oil. And blue oils don't start off in blue plants. They start off in white or yellow plants. And then they're metamorphosized through heat. And what you'll find is they're so cooling. So as the universe turns up the heat, and it sounds like it definitely is, you can say, right, okay, I'm going to cool it. I'm going to call it ice blue cooling medicine of yarrow. And then it's going to throw up definite hurdles in your path. And I think that you're going to find that the hurdles, and maybe the wounds that will not heal, that you have always got to the hurdle and turned back like a cul-de-sac, you know. So, for example, some stuff, she's very distracting. Some stuff can't be healed, can it? So I often think about twins. You know, the relationship between twins cannot be changed. And if you've got one twin who's naughty and the other one's good, then there will always be excuses about the naughty twin, you know. That kind of deep-seated stuff is Chiron. It just can't be changed. But lemongrass says, I understand that that is there. But what if, just try, what if we could get past that? What would that look like? And it's such a creative and resourceful and positive oil to come up. And given that we can see that the retrograde is cyclical, it comes round each year. So each time we're being asked to look at that same lesson over and over again. And this time it's saying, come on, you identified last time that this was a problem, but you didn't do anything about it. It hurt too much, and I get that. It does hurt. But spikenard says, well, it hurts, but I am here, and you must have faith. You must have faith that this can be done and that you can get through this. Just going back to spikenard for a minute, because I think it's important to point out. It's thought that Mary of Bethany anointed Christ's feet with spikenard. Remember the story about how she washed his feet with her hair? It's thought that spikenard was used. And incidentally, there's another story as well in the Gnostic Gospels that says that his foreskin was preserved in spikenard. So these are things that are so painful, but they are movements into the future. You know, Christ knew that he got to get on that cross. Can you imagine the fear that he must have been feeling? But he understood it was his destiny and what needed to take place. Spikenard's also in the anointing oil of the Israelites for the Hebrews, and it was given to them on their journey on the Exodus out of Egypt. They had been slaves for many hundreds of years, and they still had to endure it. But they knew it would be over, and it was that faith that got them through. So spikenard is all about faith. It's about transformation. It's about that idea of the phoenix. If you buy my book on spikenard, there's a big book that I've written, about 400 pages on spikenard. On the front there's a phoenix, because the phoenix is the symbolism of transformation over those 3 days, that he had to die in the fire to be born again. Christ had to die on the cross to be born again. You have to go through this healing, and you have to go through it. It's no good turning back. It's no good being in the cul-de-sac. You have the medicine. If it stings, if you get burned, you have it. That is perfect medicine for yarrow burns. Amazing. So to get past that, to know that you've got to do that, to have the confidence to do that, you need to be creative, and you need to say, I know that that hurdle's there, and I know that in every possible opportunity that wound has stopped me, because there's no way of getting through it. And lemongrass goes, I get it, but what if there was? Let's just try and think what it would look like if we could. And grapefruit says, absolutely, confidence. You have to have confidence in your abilities to do this. This is your time to move forward. Absolutely your time. And, you know, if you think that grapefruit's main abilities in physical medicine are that it breaks down fat, and so we would see these fantastic legs with cellulite that normally you would have been embarrassed to hide, and then suddenly you want to show them off because they're so amazing. This is the feeling you're going to get. I've got to, oh my god, I got over that hurdle. I have spent my life thinking there was no way around it, and then suddenly the sun comes out. I mean, it's ruled by Leo. We're in Leo season. The sun is out, and it's just like, I never thought I could do that. I didn't think I was capable of that. And that is grapefruit solar plexus medicine. But time is a much more strident healer. It's Cancerian. It's ruled by Cancer, so it's nurturing. But it's going to describe to us how this journey takes place here. Bear in mind that this is card 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I thought it was 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, it is 7. So this is an important one. 3, 7, 11, remember. So this is your journey now. It says, as life buffets us from one place to another, it's easy to become scattered and confused. Tiredness slows us moving forward. Procrastination breeds boredom and fear. Breathe in time and feel that flutter in your belly. Excitement rebuilds and draws back your focus in one wondrous space. Childlike wonder fills the space, and suddenly what became so overwhelmingly tedious now becomes new, thrilling and bursting with possibility. My herbal vigour shakes things up a bit to remind you why things that were weren't so important to you still are. So I do think here probably pertains to this hurdle, that over time you've just become immune. You know, whatever keeps playing out, you're like, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's really boring. I'm really sick of it, but I moved out. You know, I mentally moved out. And actually mentally moving out became part of the problem. That now revisiting it, and now you've got this beautiful positivity from lemongrass and grapefruit working together. Just incidentally, the two of them together in a blend are stunning fragrances added to time. Lovely. But what you're seeing is, God, this, if I can get this right, what does that mean for everything else in the jigsaw? All this stuff that I have been allowing to happen in our family, in our business, or whatever you will, I'm sure that you will know, well, you'll know when the thorn comes up, won't you? It's revealed now, and you're thinking, right, okay, well, if I got it wrong all the time before, that there was a way to get around it, what does that mean for everything else? And Laurel is just the victor. It's so lovely because it's happening to come up in a lot of the readings at the moment. But it's ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is expansion. And this whole idea of, well, what else could start to get better? Jupiter says, well, actually, it's everything expands. What you thought was real is just really small, and we can really grow this now and start to see things changing. So we need to be careful that we don't get carried away, because Jupiter is, we imagine the waistline, it's Henry VIII's waistline. The more egotistical that he got, the bigger he got. And Jupiter gets bigger and bigger. And whilst it is authority and it is justice, that should be said, it's justice, that you're feeling like, well, it's about time I got my desserts. It's easy to let our heads run away with us, to become overbearing and egotistic and grandiose. And, you know, remember that you may have grown, but the status quo remained the same to all intents and purposes. It will take the universe a while to catch up with those changes. So don't get carried away. And if you do start to feel like, you know that feeling when you think everything is so slow, everything is painful, everything is, I'm so frustrated by all of this stuff, and I feel like I want to go faster. All of that, it says that Spikenard's ruled by Saturn, time, chronology, chronic disease. But see how vetiver goes down into the earth. It's all those beautiful roots. They go, you know, if a vetiver plant is 8 meters tall, it's 8 meters deep, and it doesn't spread sideways. It goes down into the ground, and it's completely anchored. So if you start to feel like, I want to go faster than this, go, no, just a minute. I'm going to use my vetiver to anchor me, to slow me, to make me feel more tranquil. And this is such a meditative oil, you know, it's peace, tranquility, and it will really give you comfort while you just wait for the universe to catch up, because it is fast. It's all fast medicine. And of course, you're Aries, so Aries wants to go fast. I'm Aries rising, so, you know, don't jump in with both feet. Don't just smash the whole thing to pieces. Where's your insights? Potentially we'll look at the sacredness of galbanum in a minute. But there's actually, all of this is about inner work, but it's all, none of it's really incitement. Do you know what I mean? It's about just kind of softening the blow of what's going on. It's not really meditative so far. So here is useful stuff to kind of just say, stop, assimilate. Don't get carried away with yourself. We've seen all of these changes. Your reality is changing, but the universe needs to catch up. So anchor your feet, slow down. Slow the fuck down. Eucalyptus, though. Eucalyptus is an interesting oil from the point of view that we all know what it means on a physical basis, don't we? What do we use eucalyptus for? We get it out when we have a cold, cough, cold, anti-infectious, anti-pain. Really fantastic oil, used to death, really. And rightly so, because it grows very quickly and it can be easily replenished, and it's unlike spikenard. It's, you know, it's an easy oil to get hold of. So it's good that we're using it so sparingly. But whilst we're doing that, everybody's talking about the physical medicine, and nobody thinks of the emotional and mental changes that are taking place. And eucalyptus says, to thine own self be true. So on the days where you are trying to conform what everybody else wants, you're saying what you think everybody wants to hear you say. I'm telling you now, that's what's caused your cough. It's that shift in, right, okay, well, I'm going to stop saying everybody else's words, and I'm going to say my own stuff, and feeling calmer with that. That's what stops the cough. So this idea of thine own self be true is very helpful here, you know. And lemon, it's really just feeling incredibly calm and happy and steady. And once you're starting to feel more like you understand what the thorn was, you're happy to work with it. You can see that this is deep healing, but there is gold hidden there, and you're working with it. You know, we've got lots of tremendously meditative oils. They're not insightful oils. They don't really go deep into helping us, but they are meditative, slowing, reinforcing, strengthening. Maybe in a minute we'll look at deeper into galbanum, but that's just that. Normally I would say if chamomile came up, it would say que sera, sera, whatever will be, and it's not quite that blasé. But I think what I can see here for you is that you're like, well, I've got the tools, I understand what I've got to do. A bit like, you know, when the virus started, we all went mad, wherever we went mad for toilet roll, I have no idea. But we all went mad for sanitising goods, and we panicked. But once they were in the cupboard and we'd stocked up, we were like, okay, I'm going to barricade myself in now. I know about the washing the hands, and I'm building my own strategies around me to keep me safe. And I think that the lemon, antiseptic and antibacterial, incidentally, perhaps what made me say it, is that feeling of, right, okay, right, I've got everything sorted now. I know that it's really bad out there. You know, the Chiron retrograde is coming. The meteor's on its way to me, and it's going to hit. But I'm all right. I'm all right. I've got everything I need around me to be able to deal with that. Bring it on, which is tremendous. Very, very Aries, by the way. So let's have a look at galbanum, because it's sitting a little bit conspicuous there. So I want to look deeply at the poem and analyse it more deeply. So it says, be still, very, very still, and then inhale me. Watch carefully without ears. No, try again. Watch carefully without eyes, and listen without ears. Feel how I speak deeply inside. Sink my deep, heavy molecules right to your core. I speak to the solar plexus, well of self-esteem, of identity, strength and purpose, an intimate knowledge of who I am. I bring stillness from your searching and peaceful moments in the storm. On days when you feel you're not enough or exhausted to your core, breathe me in deeply. Let me fill you with resolution once more. Well, that's come out in the place where you are now. So is that how you feel now, that you're very tired and wondering who or what you are? Because that's the beginning of the retrograde, isn't it? So this here, there's your meditation, there's your insight, there's your quietness. And it's ruled by wood in Chinese medicine. So wood is kind of the spring, if you like. It's feeling very new to this. It's for toddler. And it's about feeling like the sun's coming out after the winter, and you feel like you want to branch out, but potentially you want to find people. It's hard to see the changes that have happened to you reflected unless you've got other people to reflect them against, if that makes sense. So usually we can see, for example, we tend to like people that we think are the same as we are, don't we? And as we grow, then we sort of find them a bit more tedious. And so potentially you'll be watching. Yeah, there we go. I know exactly what I want to say now. So one of the things that you, in a Chiron retrograde, that is useful to do to find your way through it is to watch for synchronicities. And in particular, the people that rub you up the most, they're kind of the people to pay attention to, because they're showing you the stuff you don't like about yourself. And you're seeing that reflected back, and that's very, very wood energy. And so potentially, you know, that it is going to feel painful. That makes me think that you'll be arguing with a lot of people, just niggling, you know, not big fallings out, but you'll think, oh, everybody's pissing me off. Right, specifically, what did they do that annoyed you? Because I think you might have just exposed the thorn every single time. What did they do that annoyed me? What did they do? What did I see happen there? Look for synchronicities at all times, because remember that the wounded healer can heal everybody else but themselves. And maybe that's because you just can't see it until it's reflected back out of somebody else. So that's an interesting card. And then your outcome is Rosemary. Now I have to say, she's my arch nemesis. She and I don't get on, and given that I'm an Aries rising, it's very interesting to think about how she might be able to help me. So I have to find her. Let's give you the final poem. It says enthusiasm. Interestingly, she's ruled by Aries. That's why probably we don't get on. I'm Aries rising. 2 alphas in one space. It's just too much. But she is also wood medicine. That socialness, that branching out. She's, if you look in the garden, she's shooting really fast at the moment. This is her growth time. She says, it's time to wake up, sleepyhead. Your time of passive and indifference must now come to its end. How many more times will others snatch your sunlight, stealing your chance to bloom? I can feel the seasons changing. This is your moment to become sharp. Your flowers remain unopened, but your untapped energy is marvellous. It will take so little to coax it from its bud. Stand tall. Think back, focus and really concentrate. Is this apathetic existence the one you chose at conception? Are you bored that your thoughts have become lethargic, careless and dull? As the morning wind switches direction, sit a while with me. Breathe my pungent fragrance and let me focus things in your mind. Be warned though, no quiet thoughts there will be. For calm and languid balm, seek lavender. My medicine is razor sharp. Just imagine the phenomenal ideas and plans we might create, or how much we could learn from your heightened memory and recall. Together, we have the energy of fire. Well, there you go. If ever she's saying, I mean, this idea of focus and really concentrate. Is this apathetic existence the one you chose at conception? Strange that I chose the twins as an example, that right from the beginning, you accepted this reality, and I don't think the universe is going to accept it anymore. There's excuses from traumas, and Rosemary saying, come on, you have become dull. Your senses have become dull because you spent so many years trying to hide from this hurdle. You've gone down the cul-de-sac so many times. It's embarrassing now, you know. So Rosemary says, come on, let's think about it a bit and work out what to do. So just bear with me a second. I wrote down some notes. Let me see if I can find them. So I did a count of the traditional Chinese medicine. So you had 4 earth cards, 4 wood cards, 6 fire cards, 3 water cards and 3 metal cards. So fire is the time of the summer for a start off, and just find my right page to read my notes off so I get it how I want it. Yeah, and it's the time of the heat of the summer, which of course, well, if you're in the northern hemisphere with me, you are, but it also represents the ability to love and to be loved. And fire energy really flourishes in the summer, and this is the time really that the whole of the sun is, well, there's quite a lot of sun medicine, sun, all beaming down on you to give you all this help. And imagine that you were one of the plants. What would nature want you to do as a plant? It would want you to bear fruit right now, because it's really important that we do fruit, because if we don't, then that's wasted energy, isn't it? And it's very much harder when the winter comes and everything's stripped bare. You think, well, that was pointless, I failed really. Whereas if you've had a harvest, you can say, well, this is what I succeeded at this time, this month, this year, this lifetime. And it's easier to let go. And I think that the sun really wants every sign at the moment to really push and start to bear fruit. Fire energy generally manifests through the triple warmer. So that is the heart, the pericardium, and the small intestine. And together they regulate internal temperature. You have got some warm oils. That's a very warming oil. That's a very warming oil. That's a warming oil. You've got lots of cooling oils. So I think, really think about, listen to your body through the month. I think that will give you good indications of the thorn. If you start to feel the heat, remember we can cool it with the yarrow. I genuinely would have some yarrow on tap, maybe a yarrow hydrolat just to spray over you. But any one of these oils, remember, uplifting, impetus, faith when it's scary, bringing things together, feeling like, you know, you've got help on the battlefield, what if, confidence to move things forward, strength, feeling like you've won, grounding, anchoring you, stopping you, tranquility, authenticity, to your own self be true, feeling a bit more content, the sacredness of galbanum. Here's your beautiful way to meditate, if ever there was. And then just when it's all a bit too much, I'm feeling enthusiastic. I know that I'm supposed to be learning something now, and I'm excited for this. It's hard. I know that the thorn's going to come, but I know with my allies here, I'm going to find the hurdle. I'm going to find a way through it, and I am going to be absolutely fantastic after it. Absolutely fantastic. And I am going to feel so strongly that I have won here. I have absolutely won. Rosemary. Wouldn't be my choice. Wouldn't be my choice. And just as an experienced user of essential oils, if you find her a little bit too powerful, and frankly I want to punch you most of the time, use her in the morning. And actually it said that in the poem, didn't it? Use her in the morning, because she's invigorating and she's stimulating, and otherwise you won't sleep. Sorry Aries, the phone switched off. So use this in the morning if you want to go to sleep. You know, if you want to do your work while you're dreaming, which is actually when I do mine. These are your dreamy ones. These are the ones that will help you sleep. And so if you like this and you want to get your own pack, have a look in the listing below, and you'll see that there are 2 links, one for the Tongue of the Trees cards, those are those, and one for the knowledge base, which is a separate purchase if you want to go much deeper. And so if you look at the pages, the booklet comes with the cards that has all the poem in, and then the key that shows you earth, medicine, cancer, etc, etc, and goes much deeper into this. So it's like an online course that goes far deeper into the energetics for you. In the meantime, Aries, goodness me, I'm glad that we found you some allies. Good luck. This seems like a really fantastic learning experience for you this month. And use your oils. And incidentally, if you have a look, the people that supply our cards, Fragrant Earth, they also are one of the best essential oils dealers in the world. If you want to have, for example, you don't have spikenard, just add that to your order and they'll send it out to you all in one go. For the meantime, I will see you next month. Thank you for liking, sharing and commenting. So I hope you found that useful. They're very weird, these cards. When I designed them, and Gergely asked me to write the translations to his Hungarian poems, I had to listen to the plants all over again, and to hear them speak to me was very strange and stressful, and I didn't like it, and I didn't think they'd be good. When I got them in my hands and started to work with them, I found them extraordinary. And I hope that you do too. Now, obviously, if you are not a regular follower of my channel because you're not an aromatherapist, like and subscribe now, and comment and share, please. Also, in the description, you will find how to buy the Tongue of the Trees cards, but also how to buy the knowledge base. And remember that they are separate. The cards are available from Fragrant Earth in Glastonbury, and soon will be available from Amazon. So just keep watching, because as soon as they are, you'll get a link in the link below, and that's Amazon UK just at the moment. The knowledge base is a digital platform, and so the second that you pay me £45, I can send it down to you, and there is over 40 different videos in there looking at all aspects of the oil. Also, make sure that you check out my books. If you're a beginner to essential oils, look at download my free book from Amazon, The Complete Guide to Clinical Aromatherapy and the Essential Oils of the Physical Body. Snappy title. I've regretted it ever since I did it. But also, if you are a beginner to essential oils and you're starting to really enjoy them, but you're not confident, perhaps also look for the recipe hub that goes with the Tongue of the Trees. Totally unrelated to any of the readings that we've done, but it's using the cards to make recipes. There's just around about 200 recipes in there. How to make treatments for body lotions, for shampoos, for anything you can think of, from bronchitis to, I can't think of something from beginning with Z, sunburn. Right the way across. So yeah, have a look, go and have a look at my website. And incidentally, if you would like me to do you your own personal reading, if you have a look on my website, thesecrethealer.co.uk, there is a link for consultations. Book an hour-long personal consultation, and yeah, I'll do your own reading. For now, thank you for being generous and all the nice things that you've said, and I look forward to doing your August readings.
So you get your phone, you turn it this way up, and then there's a little red subscribe button. Turn it grey by clicking it, and then there's a little bell. Click that and press all at the bottom of your phone or tablet or computer. It will say you will receive all notifications. And then there's a little hand with a thumbs up. Click that, it'll turn it blue, and it says added to your liked videos. And there will be comments, and if you want to, you can send a comment and say like hi's to Mum and Dad, like. And then the link to the next video will be in the description below underneath the video. So bye.